hope you're all doing really well. Welcome back to a brand new video. It's absolutely gorgeous outside today. We're having a little mini heat wave at the moment, so I think it's about 24 degrees today, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow is meant to be even hotter. I think it's up to like 25 tomorrow, so I just feel like it makes everything better when the sun's out. I absolutely love the heat. I know some people don't, but I love it. Unfortunately though, I can't go outside and use our lovely new patio because we had some slabs that were a little bit wobbly, so our builder came back yesterday and relaid those for us, which means that we need to give them a few days. He said don't walk on the patio for ideally about 5 days, which is just typical when it's over like the warmest days of the year in this little heat wave that we're not allowed to go outside. Obviously I can go outside. I will go outside actually and show you the flower beds, show you how they're getting on. Some of the things that we planted aren't thriving at the moment. I'm hoping they will get there, but yeah, the rhododendrons, especially on one side, just on one of the flower beds, isn't doing great, but I don't know whether it just needed a little bit more water. So I've been watering them every night, but giving them like a good drink, really watering the soil rather than just like giving them a quick sprinkle. So hopefully that is helping, but a lot of the other things I can see every day like new growth on them. It's so exciting. I feel like I could really get into gardening because it does give you a little buzz when you start to see things grow and there's little buds coming up and little flowers, and yeah, very exciting. So I will give you an update outside of how things are looking. I've also had a delivery today of our outside lights, so I haven't opened those up. I'll unbox them with you and we can see them for the first time together. We've also had a delivery of the like architrave sort of trim that we're doing around this kitchen window. I mentioned this in my last video or a couple of videos ago, and then we are waiting for a delivery of our skirting board, which should be here in a couple of days, and that is the skirting board for this like back kitchen room. I also have quite a lot of samples that I will show you for like different projects, different areas around the house. I'll go and grab those now and I'll show you the samples that I've got. So this is just a small selection of the quite extensive sample collection that I seem to have acquired over the past few years of obviously just renovating and doing all things interiors. So I'm not actually 100% sure on any of these tiles. None of them are a definite for any particular room. I am currently in the middle of designing like 3 separate bathrooms and well pretty much all of the rest of our house. So I've got lots of different areas to think about, and there are a few of these tiles that I do definitely want to use. I just need to decide where exactly I want to use them. So this one here, I will pop some pictures on screen of like the full size tile because you can't actually get a proper idea from these samples. They are obviously only quite small samples, but this is a floor tile that I would like to use in one of the bathrooms. I did originally like the idea of this one for the main bathroom. I like the sort of traditional look of it. I like the tone of the wood. I like the actual style of the tile and everything. The only thing I'm unsure about with this one is if I was to go for a wooden vanity unit, which I would like to do again in one of the bathrooms, maybe it's the main bathroom. I would like a sort of reclaimed antique looking vanity unit, and I wouldn't want the woods to clash or like compete against each other. So that would probably be the only thing that would push me away from using this as the floor tile in the main bathroom, because I've had this sample for absolutely ages and really loved it. This tile is available on Mandarin Stone. I think that's where I first saw it, but I actually ordered this sample from Porcelain Superstore, so that is definitely a potential for somewhere. So then these ones here, this one and this one, were just kind of, I just ordered these samples while I was ordering other samples. This isn't a job that we'll be doing right now, but I definitely want some sort of checkerboard tile flooring somewhere. Again, I did consider doing it in one of the bathrooms, potentially in the main bathroom, but I do think it would look really nice in the hallway. We do need new flooring in this hallway eventually anyways. Obviously, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done in the hallway, to the stairs and everything. This floor is quite battered already, so we will definitely replace the floor through there, and I do think a checkerboard could look really, really nice. I don't really want to go for the traditional like black and white checkerboard. I think that might be just a little bit too full on. So this was just an idea, just a thought of this more neutral checkerboard style. So this is the Calacatta Amber Horned Marble from Mandarin Stone. And this one is, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that, but that's the name of this tile. So yeah, again, not 100% sure about them. I just wanted to see them together, but that could make quite a nice subtle checkerboard design. So then this one is the original tile that I've always wanted to use in the main bathroom. Again, I've had this sample for probably a couple of years now. I am a little bit funny with tiles, or not even so much the tile, it's more the grout situation. I really don't like when white grout discolours and just looks mouldy and just not very nice, and I feel like it happens quite quickly. It doesn't take long for grout to go a little bit manky, and maybe it wouldn't if you cleaned it every single day, but realistically nobody has time to do that. So I kind of want to steer away from white grout. So that is kind of why I was leaning more towards a coloured tile like this, so that I could go for a darker grout, maybe it's even like a grey, or just not a white grout basically. But I'm not 100% sure about these. I don't know whether it's a bit risky to go for a green tile, where the green is a little bit like on trend right now and I'm not going to like it in a few years time. I don't know. I do really like these tiles though. I like the colour of green. I like the sort of distressed look. I have ordered this tile in a few other colours as well, so I'll show you those when they arrive. But then my other idea for the main bathroom, and this is kind of going against what I've just said about the white grout. I'll pop a picture on screen of the full tile of this because it's actually got quite a statement like brown amber vein running through it. It's a really, really nice tile. But yeah, the main reason I'm moving away from this one is because of the grout situation. Let me know what you think. And then lastly for tiles, I've got this one, which is a terracotta floor tile. I saw this on, I think it was a video, I'm not sure whether it was a YouTube video, of an interior designer doing like a sort of show around of a bathroom that she had designed, and she'd used this flooring and I absolutely fell in love. I haven't really seen this used that much, but I ordered a sample of it straight away because I absolutely love everything about it. I love the fact that it's terracotta. I love the shape, this like picket shape. I definitely want to use these tiles somewhere in the house. I was potentially thinking the bathroom, the main bathroom, but I think that these would be really, really nice in our utility room downstairs. That's another room that we still need to fully renovate. And I think the style of these tiles would fit more with a sort of country, rustic, farmhouse style room. Whereas the bathrooms, I'm probably going a little bit more down like the traditional route. So yeah, I think these will work really, really well in the utility, but I definitely will be using these somewhere around the house. And then lastly, I've got two samples here of brick slips. So these were for this chimney breast wall here. Ignore all of the birthday balloons and stuff. It's recently been Alma's first birthday. But yeah, we planned on brick slipping this chimney breast to make it look like an original exposed brick wall. So we both originally liked this cottage mixture sample. but the more I looked at the both of them, I started to prefer this one just because I think it looks a little bit more rustic and aged and like realistic as sort of an exposed brick wall. I like the differentiation in all of these bricks, whereas I feel like this one is very like red and beige and that's sort of it. However, we might have changed our mind on this and we're thinking of doing stone cladding instead of the brick. I'll pop in a picture here to sort of show you what we're thinking. I have ordered a sample of some stone cladding, so I will of course show you that when it arrives. But yeah, that is what we're potentially thinking of doing now instead of the brick. So, outside lights, I haven't opened these yet. We've ordered quite a lot of these as well. Just kind of all in one go. Libby told me to get all of them. So we've got the post lights. Let me show you. So if I just show you quickly from inside, these pillars here, you can see the cable sticking out the top. So that is where we are going to have the pillar lights on top of each of those. And then we also have just wall lights that will go like on the back of the house. We've got 3 lights on the back of the house and then 1 on the side, like down the side path. So let's open the pillar lights first. These were really affordable as well. I did look at lots of different options and I was doing what I always do and looking into it a little bit too much. I wanted something like bronze or kind of antique brass. That is usually what I go for with any like hardware or metal or anything like that. But the fencing that we've just had done, the sort of like railings that we've got on the patio are black. So then I kind of started getting all in my head and thinking that black lights would have looked better, but I couldn't find any pillar lights as nice as these ones in like a black colour. So I ended up just going with these. I am also funny about the colour of like brass, antique brass or anything like that. That is why I quite often do go for more of a bronze, because I don't like anything too gold, too like yellow gold. I want it to look quite, I don't know, quite like rustic and aged. So these are the pillar lights. Oh. Obviously without the top. I'm guessing the top must be, yeah, it is in there. So that is the top bit there that like sits on top of it. I don't actually know whether there's another bit that goes on the top of that. I don't think there is. I'm actually really happy with those. They look exactly like the picture online. So yeah, really happy with those. I'll show you them properly in situ later on or tomorrow. But yeah, really happy with that. And then I did get the matching wall lights. This was the other issue that I was having. I wasn't in love with the wall lights as much as the pillar lights, but I like the fact that they all match. So I just went for them anyways. So I'll get one of the wall lights out as well. There was 2 different types of wall lights as well, and again I was a little bit torn between the 2, so I went for this style. So it obviously goes on the wall like that and it kind of sits upwards. The other one that was available was the other way around, so it wasn't exactly the same, it was kind of the other way around. So instead of this being like higher than where it's attached, it kind of dropped lower, if that makes any sense. But they do actually have, don't know whether you can see inside there, that's like the spiky bit that goes on the top. So there is another little bit that sticks on the top. I thought there was just a little bit of like a decorative bit, but I'm actually really happy with those. Really happy with them. So yeah, we've got 4 of these ones to go on the walls and 2 of the pillar lights. So Louis will probably get those like wired in and everything hopefully tomorrow. So update on the flower beds. This is the right one and this is the rhododendron that is not doing great. Some of the flowers that are coming through sort of underneath look quite healthy, so I feel like the amount that I'm like watering it on a night and stuff must be doing some good, but all of these ones just look sizzled. I don't know whether it's because it is like so warm and sunny, but yeah, everything else is looking pretty good. I feel like these daisies do kind of shrivel a little bit when it is really hot like this. Like that one just looks completely burnt to a crisp, so I like to give these a really good water on a night as well. This is the salvia, I think, so these are starting to like flower a little bit, and this has just come out as well. This was just starting to sort of flower last night, so that's really exciting. The hydrangeas are still very dark pink. Obviously I planted these in the acidic soil, so these should technically turn blue, but I don't know when or whether they will, so we're just keeping an eye on those. But everything else is looking pretty good. Same on this side. This bed is probably doing, well, it is doing a little bit better. The rhododendron, I would say, is doing a little better. This looks a little bit like fuller than on the other side. These daisies over this side though look very dead. I think it is maybe just, I don't know, too hot, too much sun. So again, I'll give them a good drink later on tonight. The salvias on this side aren't coming through as much as they are in the other bed. Same with this rhododendron. This one's a little bit slower. You can see some of the white flowers coming through there, and same with the hydrangea. I need to get some pots for these. These are the bits that we got for the beds, but they were a little bit too full, so this is just kind of like leftovers. I'm intrigued to see what these are and what they do. That is what they're called and like the picture of them, so we'll see what happens with them. But yeah, I need to get some decent sized pots to put these bits into. But yeah, everything's looking good. Obviously I'm keeping off the patio for the next few days, which is difficult when it's this nice outside, but needs must. We also need to do a massive clear up first of all the pots and mess and stuff. Spot Nelson in the background there. The grass desperately needs cutting. We need to spend a little bit of time in the garden, but we've just been discussing what to do with the actual turf, because this bit over here isn't too bad in terms of like the actual grass and like the ground, the level and stuff, but over this side this used to kind of be like vegetable beds and stuff. I think when we bought the house, there's a path that runs down here. You can't really see it now because it's all just overgrown, but it runs down the middle there, and this side there was kind of like a shed and stuff down here, so you can see here where the ground, there's like lots of different levels. It's quite dangerous. Someone is definitely gonna like break their ankle one day. There's lots and just lots of like uneven areas and stuff, mainly over this side. So we're thinking of potentially either rotivating all of it and maybe just putting down some topsoil and grass seed. Ideally we want something that's like a quick fix. We need to do still a lot of work in the garden. Louis wants to build his own shed. We need to like basically take down this whole like bush across the back, get out all of the stumps, do a fence. There's lots of things that we need to do, so we don't really want to be spending loads on like brand new turf or anything. We might just be able to rotivate sort of this area and just focus on that area, because it's mainly like the holes and the dips and the uneven bits that are dangerous. But yeah, let me know if you've got any ideas, because we are definitely not garden experts. everyone. Let me get you all set up. It is all go in the Dunning household today. It is bank holiday today, so we've had a nice long weekend and we are trying to just get stuff done in the house, which is proving quite difficult with an almost 1-year-old. I knew this was going to be the case, and I feel like this is kind of why we haven't really tackled much for the past year. But we have made quite a few like little purchases, but lots of things that we needed basically that have just all been put like on the back burner and not really been essential, and we've just, time's passed us by and we've just lived with it. So things like the skirting board for this room, like the open plan kitchen, dining, living room, that has arrived. So Louis is partway through that. We also got this trim for around the window. Let me pull this blind down and I'll show you properly how it looks. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. Also ignore all of the stuff everywhere. The house is absolutely upside down. I feel like it's impossible to keep things neat and tidy while doing jobs like this. But anyway, this is how the sort of window architrave is looking. This is exactly how I imagined it. I'm just about to give this a coat of primer. Alma is currently napping and I'm hoping I've got another sort of 45 minutes, an hour maybe, ideally. And then I will just paint it the same colour as the walls, which is just a very slightly off-white. Louis is all set up outside with his wood cutter. I don't know what that's called. But yeah, he's been cutting the skirting board and he's just pulled up now. He's just gone to get some wood to kind of start this project over this side of the room, but I'll talk you through that later on. I have also primed a couple of bits of wood. I don't know whether you can see that wood sticking out there. That is just a tiny little bit of trim basically for down here, just underneath the bifold doors. Obviously at the moment it's just a very raw edge where the floor kind of ends, so we're just going to stick that along there. And again, I'll just paint that the same colour as the walls, but it needed some primer.
Hi.
He's back with the wood. This is the current state of the house, which is just no good at all. But yeah, I'm going to crack on quickly while Alma's still napping and try and get some primer on this wood around the window. So I've managed to get one coat of primer around here. Baby is now awake and Louis is building the frame for what will be sort of like built-in cupboards and shelves around here. So he's building that frame now so that then he can fit the skirting board around it. Oh, because there's no point in us obviously putting skirting board right into these two alcoves because they'll be filled with cupboards. So he's doing the frame for that now. And have you cut all of the rest of the skirting boards?
The ones that I've done are like leaned again.
Yeah, these are all cut but just not stuck on. I've also done a coat of the like stain block on the ceiling because I was using the same thing for around the window. It's like a mix. This one, multi-purpose, water-based primer, sealer and stain killer. So I've done that on the ceiling because that was a job that just needed doing. So I'll wait for this to dry and then when I get a chance I'll cork it all. I need to like fill and cork all around the edges and then I'll paint it in with the walls. Quick update of where we've got to in the house. Ignore all of the stuff everywhere. Like I said, it's recently been Alma's birthday and there's just toys everywhere, but we'll ignore that. So as you can see, we've got 2 cupboards now either side of the chimney. These are just from IKEA. Obviously you can tell that they are too small for the space, which we knew before we ordered them. You could only get these cupboards, I think these ones are 60 centimeters, or you could get the next size up was 80, but 80 would have been a squeeze. I don't think we would have actually fit them into these gaps, so we went for the 60. Obviously the idea is that these will all be built in anyway, so we'll box them all in. We're going to do built-in shelves above either side, so yeah, eventually this should all look built in and lovely. The blind is currently down here because I am still working on this trim around the window. I've just given it a sand and I'm just doing some last little bits of filling and caulking and stuff around the edge, and then I'll sand it again, paint it and get the blind back up. Everything just takes so long these days. Oh, you can see our lights outside there as well. It's so windy out there, so I don't think you're going to be able to hear me if I actually go outside. I will show you these closer up at some point, but I'll zoom in a little bit. So these are the pillar lights, all in place on the walls. I think they look unreal, exactly how I wanted them to look. They don't currently work yet, just because Louis still needs to actually do something with the cables and connect it all up, but hopefully they should work when he's done all of that. But yeah, they're looking very lovely. We've got Teddy on the table, which isn't actually ours. I think that's come over the fence, but our flowers in here are also thriving. I'll give you an update on those, maybe in the next video or whenever the weather is decent enough for me to actually go outside. So yeah, that's pretty much all the updates that I've got at the moment. We have been doing some work on the playroom, so I'll show you all of that in the next video. But I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video and I'll see you all soon.